So today is a couple of days after the wedding of my last child, and I am very sick. So you're really glad this is on Zoom. I took a COVID test this morning, so I don't know what the answer is. But I want you to know that Janey and my good friend Debbie worked in the kitchen Friday night at a reception for hours. We're talking an hour setup, 2 hours during the reception, and at least an hour, probably an hour and a half of cleanup afterwards. And Janey brought her son. Janey is a single mom with the most amazing son who's now grown up and practically a man. And Janey is a dear friend of mine. She has wonderful oil knowledge. She has research. She has answers that have things that have helped her with the natural doTERRA products. She has had some stomach issues, so this topic is perfect for her. And she is a kind, good person. We're so thankful to have Janey on to teach for us tonight. So we'll turn time over to you. Oh, let's do some oil stories. If Laura or Charlene have oil stories, I would love to hear it this week.
Yeah, I was helping a friend of mine who at work, he had knee pain. He fell at work, and I had one of those little doTERRA, the deep blue empty vial thing that I had filled up.
Yeah.
And I had that in my bag, and I was like, oh, just give me the container back when you're done. And he said it definitely helped.
No, awesome. I love it when we get help with the oils. Was it one of these? Was it one of the mini tubes, or was it just
Yes,
okay.
that.
That's awesome.
And he he had hurt his knee pretty bad, so
He needed a lot of
fell
that.
off some steps.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. We got Becky coming on here. So any other oil stories? That's fantastic. I love it when you help other people. It spreads the goodness.
So, well, I know you're going to have to listen to me talk, but I want to share mine. So I have a friend of mine who, she has three daughters, three teenagers. And recently one of them had some mental health issues. And so it was a big scare. So she was in an inpatient place for about a week. And after she got out, they came over so we could kind of give her some oils to maybe help her relax at night, to rest her mind so she could sleep, because that's part of her biggest problem, is just having her mind shut off so she could sleep. And it's really interesting because her and her mom came over. The two girls, the other older two, weren't here at the time. And we made her some roller bottles, and I kind of talked about the different oils because they were all out on the table. And we just made her one to kind of help her, the one with serenity and balance in it. It's like the Prozac one, right? That's what people call it. So I made that for her, and that has really helped her. She takes that to school with her when she gets a little anxious. And then I gave her some adaptive roll-on because her mom didn't want her to take any pills. So we gave her the adaptive so she could roll that on to help her at night, because that's supposed to kind of help you shut your mind off so you can go to sleep.
Yeah.
And then she has kind of like, I just don't like myself. I don't love myself. And she just was going on and on. And so I just kind of said, I use grapefruit for this reason. And I just kind of told her, and she's like, I want grapefruit. Well, it's been about 3 weeks now, and they came over this weekend. The girls wanted to make sugar scrubs and stuff for their mom for Mother's Day. And so I said, come over, we'll do it. And they all ended here leaving with different roller bottles for different things that they had. And it was so funny because I thought, here's this one young lady who has these major issues, but just her using it, her sisters were kind of like, oh, I have this problem. What can I use? And I have this problem. What can I do? So I ended up sending them away with stuff, and they just want to have a class. They want to learn more. They want to invite their friends so that way their friends can learn about oils. And I'm thinking, what a great thing for teenagers to do, right?
Yeah.
So they can learn and they can implement it into their lives. But anyway, so it was just kind of one of those, it's,
love it.
So
love it.
Anyway.
When you get a chance to help people. I love it. Welcome, Becky Michelle. Glad you're here. And any other oil stories for the week? All right, we're going to get started with Janey. And for those that just joined, I'm not feeling well. I've taken a COVID test this morning. You're really glad you're not in person with me, and we will let you know how those results go. It's been quite a week. Janey, this looks fantastic. We can see your screen. Your turn.
So I am going to just make this a little larger. So I just kind of put a few things together for me. And let me move this out of my way. So there it is down there. So I have had quite a few digestive issues, and so have my son, right? And so over the years, as I was introduced to the oils by Shalene, I've kind of implemented different things. And so what I did was I kind of went through this and I just listed my favorites. So as I'm talking, if you think about something or you're like, no, I like this one better, please share that. I think that's how we kind of learn more about the oils. But like I said, I'm just going to kind of go through my favorite and tell you examples and things that I have done with them. So the doTERRA ginger drops, I don't know if y'all have used those, but I love them. I get air sick, motion sickness really easy. So as much as I love to travel and fly, if I'm not driving, I don't really want to travel. But when I went to a convention a couple of years ago, I was just like, I'm going to be so sick flying. I know I am. I know I am. Well, I took these ginger drops with me and I used them. I just popped them into my mouth before I got on the plane and I ate them, every once in a while throughout the thing when I would start to feel kind of queasy. And it made such a huge difference. I was so excited about it. And I had a friend of mine who was traveling. She's kind of the same way. And I let her use some. And she came back and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I've got to get these for everyone in my family. They all have the same issue. So those are one of my favorite. I've actually used them also, like if I've been nauseated and just having a hard time. So it kind of helps me with that. And then I'm trying to remember, Shalene, it was something that we went for, and it was a doTERRA thing. And I think it might have been after convention.
Yeah.
And I had just had a procedure done. And every time I ate, I got nauseated. So I had a hernia repair that I didn't know I had, but they were doing something else and find out. So they did that while I was in there. And every time I ate for about 6 weeks after I had that surgery, every time I ate, I got indigestion. Horrible, horrible. Well, we did it. We ate pretty quick because it was a kind of a crazy day. I went back and I was in the back of the room just pacing back and forth because I had such horrible indigestion. And I don't remember who it was. Finally said, hey, come sit down. So I went and I sat down and Elizabeth leaned up to me. She says, here, Janey, take one of these. And I said, okay, whatever. I'm like, whatever. I don't think anything's going to help me. I thought I was dying. And so I put one of those digestion tabs. Have any of y'all used those before?
They're amazing. They taste terrible, but they're amazing.
Yeah, they horrible taste. So I actually, when I use them now, I'll put a drop of like grapefruit on it or tangerine or something to kind of mask the gross anise taste to it. I don't like that black licorice taste. But I popped that in my mouth. And I remember Shalene sitting a little ways down from me and she was laughing at me because the look on my face was disgusted because it tasted so bad. But I was literally sitting there and all of a sudden I was all like, wait a minute, like it's gone. I mean, I don't even think it was 5 minutes. It was just gone. All the pressure and pain that I was having. So I carry that stuff with me all the time. I literally came home from convention, got on and ordered me a bottle, and I never go anywhere without some digestion tabs with me. So that has gotten better. Once that healed, it's gotten better, but I still have a tendency to have that indigestion. But I swear by those. My brother was having some issues and I told him the same thing. And he likes black licorice. And he was like, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth. And I'm like, but you like black licorice. So I just think that I don't understand. I'm not the science person, but it just amazes me how you can use these products and just within, because I've used Tums and whatever those other things, generic ones and Rolaids, and I've used them all over the years, but nothing helped as fast as that did. And so I am, as disgusting as it is, I am a firm digest tab believer. That's one of my ones that I always have on me. And then a couple of the other things that I like is the roll-on. So like I was saying, I had this procedure done and I had the problem and I had my roll on, right? And I'd rolled it. I would just roll it down like my chest or my, just here. And I went to the doctor's office and I was sitting there and he came in and he was checking me and he goes, "So what am I smelling?" And I said, "Well," and I was kind of telling him what was going on and what I was doing. And he goes, "And it actually helps you?" And I said, "Well, yes, it does." I says, "And I don't have to take, like Tums or something. It's natural. It's just an oil. I rub it on and it goes through it." I says, "If it's really bad, I said, I have the pills now." And he's like, "It's hard for me to believe that an oil works, but if you believe it works, then just keep using it." And I kind of laughed at him. I said, "I don't believe that it works. I know it works, doctor." I said, it makes a huge difference." So I couldn't convince him for nothing. Even though I saw him every few months, I couldn't convince him that that was working. And so that's one of those. It's amazing what it does. It just helps, you know, reduces that uncomfortable gas that you can have and develop. Um, Again, Ethan has some of the same stomach issues that I have. And when he was smaller, he always had stomach bugs, right? And that would cause him diarrhea and stomach upset and nauseated. And so, one of the things I had him start taking was the probiotics for kids, right? The little, I call it like the pixie stick probiotics. I did not put that on here, but I had him start taking that. And even now, as he's gotten older, he doesn't like digestion. He doesn't like the smell of it, but I can get him to use Tamer. Tamer's one of my favorite too, because it's a little softer on the smell, but it does the same thing. It just helps relieve that. But I would have him take this digestion and I would have him rub it on his stomach. Um, and he would be like, "Mom, it stinks. It's gross. It's gross." And then a little bit later, he'd come in and he goes, "Well, it stinks,
Work.
Mom, but my stomach's not hurting me anymore." And
Yes.
so that was a win for me, right? I mean, you may not like the smell of it, but it's working, right? And so even at his young age, like he realized that. Um,
And my
and then,
daughters, I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
no, go ahead.
My daughters that are expecting, one was expecting, really get a lot of help with Tamer. So it does work very similar to Digest Zen. So
And
Tamer,
the smell is just a little softer, right? It's
Tamer.
not as so I had some people in my office when I used to work in the office that complained about the smell of the oils. And so when I would use digestion, they would just be, "That is just, can you just not stand near me, Janey?" And so once Tamer came out, I started using Tamer and they didn't complain as much about it. In fact, they would kind of go, that kind of smells yummy." And I'm like, "Well, it's this, and I just kind of told them the difference and they're like, "Oh." So it is interesting how they can do the same things, right? Digestion and
Well,
Tamer, they just have a different smell to it. One of the other things I like is the Syndricon oil. So I I was going to see, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen Dr. Joy over the years, but one of the things that kept coming up when she was doing her um magic, that's what I call it. So I don't know if any of y'all have been to Dr. Joy, but she's a chiropractor. She has does similar work that Dr. Damaris does, the one in Dallas who does some classes for us every once in a while. And I kept coming up that there was something going on with my liver. She couldn't quite tell what it is, but she said, "But I want you to use the Syndricon." And so I got some of the oil and I started rubbing it on, my liver kidney area, right? Because I was all like, I'm just going to rub it all over. Whatever it is, it's going to get it out of my body. And so I just rubbed it. And it's one of those things is I don't, it's a detoxification. So I know it detoxes. I can't say that I noticed any difference in my bowel movements or burping, or I didn't notice any really big difference in that. But the pain that I was having, and when she tested me a couple of weeks later, it wasn't there. So I don't know exactly what was going on, but it helped get rid of that. And so I'm all like, it did what it was supposed to do, right? It rids itself of unwanted substance. And so it did its magic. Have any of y'all had any experience with Syndricon?
I have used it in the evening.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
Laura?
Oh, no, yeah, I was kind of doing the same thing because of all the problems I've been having the past couple of years, above and beyond the normal issues I deal with. And same thing, I was using the Zendecrine to try to help detox. And I think I've had long COVID on top of everything else. So I feel like I got kind of like you, Janie. I didn't have a whole lot of unusual digestive issues. So, but yeah.
Toxins are still, I mean, it can go through your urine, right? I mean, there's so many ways your body can get rid of it, sweating, however. So yeah, it's just amazing how Zendrican works. And I did put a picture of Tamer up here. I forgot that I did that, but it is such a more pleasant smell if you're driving out of town. We were driving last summer, and of course, I stopped at Buc-ee's and I ate stuff I shouldn't have eaten. And I told Ethan, give me the Tamer out of my purse. And I put it on and I was like, ooh, that smells so much better than digestion would if we were in the car with digestion, right? And so so I keep a bottle of that in my purse all the time. And the peppermint soft gels, I was really, when I went online earlier to get some information on it, just to look, I'm like, what? It's not in order. It's temporary out of stock. You can't get it. But I was so thankful that I bought a bottle. It's been a while back that I bought it, but I have it because Ethan and I, like I said, we're king and queen of stomach issues. And a while back, I was all like, man, my stomach was really bothering me. And I'm even going to stop right there and say, both of us, so everyone in my house had COVID at the beginning of the year. And out of everybody, I probably had the worst stomach issues of anyone in the house. And on top of everything, I use peppermint oil, but I use these peppermint gel towels too, just kind to relieve the uncomfortableness that because it was just uncomfortable. I mean, it was just the cramping. I was just real uncomfortable. And I used it a lot, but I was laughing, not laughing. I shouldn't laugh at my child, but he came home from school and he's like, Mom, I don't know what it is, my stomach, and I just feel sick. And, I've gone to the bathroom all day long. And, what teenage boy wants to have to go to the bathroom at school all day long with stomach issues? So I said, well, go take one of those peppermint gel tabs, and soft gels and see if that helps. And later that night, he came in my bedroom and he goes, Mom, I'm not gurgling anymore. And I think, I don't feel as the discomfort that I was having. So I just had him take it for a couple of more days just to kind of make sure that he was good. And I love it that I can give him this instead of making him take a pill of some kind or I don't even know what they have anymore. That's how sad it is because I use this so much.
So
Um,
I think it's interesting that there's so many options too. And you kind of figure out the one that works for you, right?
Issues. And I was a little concerned because that's not something that a child his age should have. And so, of course, what do you think the doctor wanted to put him on? Some pill, right, to help reduce those acids. So I said, thanks, doctor, for the prescription. And we took the prescription and we left. I was just concerned it might have been something else. And so I started having him he didn't like the digestion. So he started using the Tamer also. And that prescription is still sitting in the drawer over here. We didn't feel it, but he was all like, Mom, it's made such a difference in him with that. So now I just said, keep it on you, so he has one in his bedroom. So when it bothers him, he can use that. Um, and so has anyone else used the peppermint soft gels?
Yeah, my internet's having a few issues. Sorry about that. But
No, that's okay.
the thing I love is that we have so many options. We can figure out what works really well for us.
Yeah.
Digestin and Tamer work well for me. So I haven't used the peppermint soft gels as much or the tabs, but I've used the tabs a few times when I was really stomach sick and boy, did they do the job. So it's like have on hand what you need just in case you need it.
Yeah, and you're right. And so I was talking to someone the other day and I said, "Oh, you have a headache, put peppermint on. That'll help you." And they're like, "Oh, no, peppermint really makes me sleepy." And I was like, "What?" So everyone's a little different, right, on how an oil can affect them. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about also, and are we good on time still, Shalene? I'm trying to
We
see
are
what time
doing
it is.
just great, Janey.
Okay. So one of the other things is the Terrazyme, right? So I wanted to put this up here because I think this is a big thing. At least for me, it is. So in the Terrazyme, I like using it because it supports our healthy digestive and it helps us metabolize the enzyme deficient some of our food isn't the best for us, right? And so taking this just helps you break that down and helps you process what that's happening, right? And it promotes that internal comfort of food intolerance. I don't know if any of y'all suffer from any food intolerances. I know I do. Um, and sometimes when you're going out to eat with someone or you're going to a party, you can't always say, I don't want that. I can't eat that. Or like tonight, my roommate said she wanted pizza. So I ate a piece of pizza. Um, and I know I'm going to regret that later. So I had a Terrazyme. So I'm hoping that that will kind of help with that issue that's going to happen. Um, and then I realized when I was reading this, I was like, oh my gosh, look, it has the same formula that the tamer has in it. So it's all like, well, no wonder it works, right? I know that I just didn't realize, I don't know if any of y'all realized that it had the same formula or the same blend of oils in there. And then one of the last things I wanted to end with, because I thought, I don't know how many of us know about this, is that digestive wellness program. So they have the 3 kits, right? You can get on the plan and you order it, and then every month you get a different kit. And I probably should have made these bigger, but it has those little probiotics, the little pixie stick probiotics that I was talking about. It has the ginger drops in it. There's spearmint oil. There is the tamer. There's a Terrazyme. There's a peppermint. So a lot of the products I talked about, plus some I didn't talk about, are in there. And as we all know, there's so many oils that have multi uses and can use for different things. If you don't like the smell or flavor of one, you can try another. Um, but I know that I used the mood and wellness kit with my niece, and we had great results with that. And so this digestive kit, if you know someone that has those issues and they can stick it out those 3 months and get those kits and they start using them, I think it's amazing that that first kit you get has that little peel box in it. I have one of those peel boxes and I love it when I travel because I can just put the multiple digestion in there or the peppermint or whatever it is I have. I can just throw them in there and then I have them when I need them and I'm traveling. But that's a great option that we have. So just to open that up, does anyone have any questions or any input? I didn't cover lots of stuff, just like I said, kind of my favorites. But if anyone has anything that they want to share or an experience, that would be great.
Yeah, Janie, some of you know that I have a genetic mutation that affects my ability to produce considered rare. And the Terrazymes, I use those multiple times a day, not just for when I eat something that I shouldn't, but just to generally help break down food. And I highly recommend it. I keep some with me because I, always forget to take it before, but I look at it this way, taking it at all is better than not. So don't look at it and go, oh, I can only take this before I eat. I didn't do that. I missed it. So now I'm not going to take it. No, take it anyway.
Absolutely. And I have some, so
That's all I got for you.
So no, and that's good. Thank you for adding that. So because I do have it, I have my little box of my little supplements that I take. I have my morning, I'm going to pull one of them up so you can see. So I have them in a little box like this. It has a AM and PM so I can remember because I forget. And I have it sitting by my desk because this is where I am all the time. And I have some that I take in the morning and I have some that I take in the afternoon or the evening time, right? And then, like I said, because I knew we were eating this and I really didn't need it. So I added just an extra one before I ate. So that way it would help. So I do too. I take it on a regular basis because our bodies just aren't able to process everything that we eat. And it just helps support our body so that we can process what we need and get out of it what we need, right? Because that's what we want to do. When we eat, we're wanting to get the nutrients out of it. So that just helps that happen. So I don't have anything else. Shalene, if you have anything else to add to that.
I appreciate it. You mentioned COVID long, what was it called? Long
Long
COVID.
haulers. Mhm.
So I just wanted you all to know that Dr. Damaris, whom we know and love, is teaching a class this Thursday. For those who don't know, I host Tuesday night classes and Sherry hosts Thursday night classes, and they're not the same. They're often very different. And his topic for this Thursday is long haulers, is what he calls it. And so I'm trying really hard to find the, I'm going to find it while we're talking here. See if I can find the link. It is 8 o'clock, not 7 o'clock on Thursday nights. And Sherry he is a dad of 7. He is a chiropractor. He has got a way of helping people like you would not believe. And I just really appreciate his goodness and all that he's done to help me emotionally and physically. And so I really love that we can share him and that Sherry's got him coming to join us. So I'm seeing if I can find, okay, I'm just going to keep looking and I'm going to keep track of who there is on this call so that I can text you all. And if anybody listens to the recording and needs this, just let me know and I will get you the information if you're interested in Thursday's class. And thank you, Janey. I think it'll be a great continuation from what you have shared with us tonight. I'm going to be putting this on my YouTube page tonight. So those of you who came in at the end, you can catch it on the YouTube if you'd like. She gave lots of great suggestions. And Janey, the blessing is listening to you. I was there when you had that, I call it an attack because I was scared for you.
Yeah.
And I can remember looking down the aisle and just being like, oh my goodness, what can I do? And I remember the relief you got so quickly from the digest tabs. That made me use the digest tabs when I was really sick. I can't stand the taste. I put a drop of wild orange on it. It helps me take it. But I am amazed how digest Zen and the tabs, fastest acting oil. I call it the fasting acting oil.
Yeah, I still am amazed at how fast it worked.
Yeah. So I hope that those that you have in your life or yourself that need help with this will definitely get some help. And I have got your names written down and I will get you the information for Thursday night's class next Tuesday night. I will be feeling better and I will be teaching about citrus oils. And I'm really excited because I've got some great information about citrus and how it helps us so much. And of course, doTERRA citrus, we can take internally. So there's a lot of easy ways to use it too. I think that's it. Anybody have anything else you want to share? We weren't able to do a business meeting tonight. So we're going to say good night and love you guys for getting on. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, Janey.
Yeah, thanks, Janey. You're amazing. And hopefully I'll have good news